The deep seas are often considered to be the last great unexplored regions of our planet. Year after year, hundreds of mysterious creatures are discovered, ranging from small organisms up to monster sharks. Still, it seems like thousands remain hidden, awaiting our cameras. Hi, I'm Mr. Mysterious, and today I'll show you 5 of the most mysterious sea creatures. I won't talk about tales and legends, but instead, I'll show you 5 real-world deep-sea creatures. We will start with a terrifying prehistoric-looking shark that might make you think twice before going for a swim. The Frilled Shark. Imagine a shark that reaches about 6 feet in length and has 300 needle-shaped teeth in 25 rows. On top of that, this shark is believed to capture its prey by bending its body like a snake. Can't believe that something like this even exists? Then you haven't heard yet about the rare frilled shark. The fossil record of the frilled shark dates back to 95 million years ago, although some paleontologists believe that this creature is closely related to sharks that lived 300 million years ago. The most surprising fact is that frilled sharks haven't really evolved that much since prehistoric times, which is why this animal is often called a living fossil. Perhaps the most interesting thing about the frilled shark is its mouth, lined with 25 rows of backward-facing, trident-shaped teeth, 300 in total. And as if its teeth weren't freaky enough, the frilled shark has a special kind of scale called dermal denticles lining its mouth. Frilled sharks spend most of their time in deep water, close to the bottom of the sea. Some scientists suggest that this shark could be the basis of the sea serpent legends. It has the right shape to be mistaken for a sea serpent, even though it really isn't long enough. Today, there are 2 living species of frilled sharks that have been discovered. One of them is known simply as the frilled shark, while the other is called the African frilled shark. Even so, there are lots of unanswered questions about this mysterious fish. The Fangtooth. Looking like it just swam out of a horror movie is the amazing Fangtooth fish. This menacing creature haunts the deep waters of the world's oceans, and its name comes from its rather impressive teeth. Although the Fangtooth looks like a true monster, this is actually a small fish, reaching a maximum length of only 6 inches. It has a very short body with a large head and mouth. The head contains numerous mucus cavities separated by serrated ridges. However, the most prominent characteristic of this species is the teeth. They are so large that the fangs on the lower jaw slide into specially formed pockets in the roof of the mouth. These pockets extend into sockets on either side of the brain. The Fangtooth's teeth become a formidable weapon as this fish hunts squid and other small fish. Even though the Fangtooth is one of the deepest fish species yet discovered, it can be found in upper layers of the ocean where it seems to hunt its prey. It can be found throughout the world in temperate and tropical oceans, including the waters off the coast of Australia. Even though researchers have been able to capture a few specimens, the Fangtooth cannot live for more than a month in captivity, believed to be in part due to the vast difference in temperature and pressure. The Anglerfish. During the 19th century, scientists began to discover, describe, and classify a very strange-looking kind of fish. However, what was interesting about this fish is that males were nowhere to be found. It wasn't until the 1920s, almost a full century after the first anglerfish was found, that things started to become a little clearer. In 1922, an Icelandic biologist discovered a female anglerfish with one smaller fish attached to her belly. He assumed it was a mother with her baby, even though he was highly confused by this arrangement. When he dissected it, he realized that the smaller fish wasn't her baby, but instead her mate. The missing males had been there all along, just unrecognized and misclassified. Males don't need big mouths and teeth because they don't hunt, and they don't hunt because they have females. The male doesn't have to trouble himself with things like seeing or swimming or eating like a normal fish. The body parts he doesn't need anymore, like eyes, fins, and some internal organs, degenerate and wither away until he's little more than a lump of flesh hanging from the female. They find a suitable mate and latch on until their bodies fuse together. Their skin joins together, and so do their blood vessels. The two organisms essentially become one. Sounds unbelievable, right? The Goblin Shark. Truth be told, we know very little about the goblin sharks. This is a unique-looking shark with a huge snout and a terrifying teeth structure. This is exactly what makes them recognizable and easy to pick out of a crowd. Believe it or not, their bodies range from pinkish gray to very bright pink. To make matters even more intriguing, the pink color of the goblin sharks doesn't derive from pink pigments in their skin. In fact, these sharks have a translucent skin that enables us to see the oxygenated blood within their capillaries. In other words, we can actually see through the skin of these sharks to a certain extent. The snout and this shark's frightening teeth are just as unique as its skin. These sharks have overhanging snouts that are highly elongated, and they form a blade-like appearance. In addition, the goblin shark's fang-like teeth are connected to their protruding jaws. They can bite into their prey by completely pulling out their jaws, which is one of their unique features. One of the things we actually do know about goblin sharks is that they are sluggish and they prefer to dwell in a mid to deep water habitat. They can swim in depths of 130 up to 4,000 feet deep. About half of the known population of goblin sharks has been spotted in the waters off Japan, but they've also been spotted near New Zealand and southern Africa. The Vampire Squid. The Vampire Squid looks like something that swam out of a late-night science fiction movie. But in spite of its monstrous name, this is a fairly small creature. This is an ancient species that shares similarities with both squids and octopuses. In fact, it was originally and mistakenly identified as an octopus in 1903. The vampire squid has large fins at the top of its body. These fins serve as its primary means of propulsion as it swims through the water by flapping these fins. However, it can also move much faster by expelling water through a specialized set of organs. The vampire squid's body is covered with light-producing organs called photophores. This gives the squid the unique ability to turn itself on or off at will through a chemical reaction and process known as bioluminescence. In dark waters, vampire squids can be completely invisible. This helps them stay away from the predators, but also helps them catch their prey by hiding in dark waters. Despite its terrifying name, this is not a fearsome predator. Instead, this squid usually collects and eats drifting particles known as marine snow. Unlike other squids, it doesn't have the ability to change its color. What is also interesting is that the vampire squid lacks the ink sac. Instead, it can eject a thick cloud of glowing bioluminescent mucus from the tips of its arms when threatened. As with most deep water creatures, we know very little about this species. It is believed that they live in an oxygen-depleted minimum layer of the ocean, where virtually no light penetrates. They have been found at depths between 300 and 3,000 feet deep. What do you think about these frightening deepwater creatures? If you know of any other interesting examples of mysterious sea creatures, feel free to share that information in the comments section below. If you find it interesting, and if you find it mysterious, share and like this video. Also, be sure to subscribe, because you don't want to miss what's coming next. As always, thank you for watching.